My dear friend, my message to all Islamic world that we had made Kafir International Army to fight against the Islamic terrorism. My name is Vijay Kumar. I am an author. I have written so many books to expose the Islamic jurisprudence and what is the Islam. In fact, all the Islamic country should know that one-way traffic of the human values and humanity cannot be proceed. I congratulate to the United Nations President Donald Trump that he restricted all the nuclear reactor of the Iran because the Muslim Ummah, the Muslim world is the same world which cannot respect the non-Muslim at any cost. Because the teaching of the Islamic Ummah is that all the Muslims are the brethren and the non-Muslims are not the brethren. This is the classification by the Islamic countries. So my appeal to all these Islamic countries, you must realize the duty of the human values. Though I am certain and I am perfect that the Islam does not respect the human values and the Islamic world cannot be run on the path of the humanity. Because according to Islam, the whole world is um, distributed or divided by the Islam into paths. That is the non-Muslims, which are known as the Kaffirs. According to Islam, these Kaffirs are the najas in the Arabic, literally meaning English, the dirt as equal to the stool or the latrine or the excreta of the human beings. So this scale of the Islam cannot run now because we cannot absorb such type of atrocity against the non-Muslims. This is why we had to make Kafir International Army, any people, any person who believe in the human values and the humanity and does not any disrespect to any society, even the Muslims. That person is the member of the Kafir International Army without any documentation, without any membership. The membership is only you have to be a follower of the humanitarian values. Means you must be a perfect human towards any caste, creed and the community. Even you have to be a kind towards the all living organism, including the reptiles, mammals, the fishes, and the all living organism or the animal kingdom, including the plants. But you see, in Islam, there is no human respect, human values. According to Islam, every non-Muslim is liable to killing by the hands of the Muslims. Because this is the motto of the Islam, which was propagated by so-called Prophet Muhammad. He was the only last and first and last prophet of the Islam. Because all Islamic prophet either stolen from the Jews and their conversion into Arabic language, their nomenclature converted in the Arabic language. As you see, Abraham converted as Ibrahim in the Arabic language. David converted as a Daud in Islam. Hagar converted as a Hazra in Islam. Abraham converted as a Ibrahim in Islam. Ismail converted as Ismail in Islam. Isaac converted as Isaac in the Islam. All the prophets which belong to Islam are not the prophet of the Islam, except the so-called prophet Muhammad bin Abdullah, the self-proclaimed prophet, is the only the prophet of the Islam. But you can imagine that the prophet who was a robber, he looted so many caravans of the Abu Sufyan, his tribesmen, and killed so many people on the basis of that they were not the Muslims. Even the Hazrat Ali, the son-in-law and the first cousin of the called Prophet Muhammad, burnt alive two persons because they denied to accept Islam due to the fundamentalism, due to the false aspects of the Islam. So my dear Islamic countries people, you cannot win the war at any cost, because I had proved in my so many videos that Allah is the fallacy. Allah is not a true figure. If Allah is a true figure or Allah is the truth, then and according to the Islam, Allah is the creator of the universe. But certainly He is the creator of the earth. But Allah does not know how the shape and size of the earth. Allah stated in the Quran that the earth is just like a bed sheet. This is not true. Means Allah is not the creator of this universe, and this fallacy was propagated by so-called Prophet Muhammad bin Abdullah and his companions. And after that, in the period of the Abbasid Caliph, between 750 to 1258, when the grandson of the Genghis Khan, Halaku, ended the caliphate of the Abbasid by killing the last caliph of the Abbasid, Mustamim, on 26 February 1258 AD. So, my dear Islamic people, you must either revive your Islam. If you will not revive the Islam, then this is the definite war against the Muslims and the non-Muslims. And this war is propagated from the side of the Muslims, from the side of the Islamic countries, not from the non-Muslims. As I well aware about the Sanatan Vedic Dharma, there is no a single mantra or single verse or single slok in any book that every non-Hindu is the greatest enemy of the Hindus. No, this is not written in our description in Vedas and any book. But in the Quran, there are so many verses that protect the Muslims, protect the Islamic violence, and propagated the killing of the non-Muslims, propagating the violence. When this is the old teaching which is being teaching in all Islamic madrasas, even in the India and throughout the world. So these madrasas are the epic center of the terrorism. This is not fault of the Muslims that they are become terrorists after gaining the education from the Islamic madrasas or the Islamic school of Islamic thought process or theology. But this is the fault of the Quranic verses and so many hadiths which are propagating the war or the violence against the non-Muslims. But this cannot be run in these days. Islamic country, if will follow the same Islam as was propagated by so-called Prophet Muhammad as a misguided missile. This missile is not killing the non-Muslims, though this missile is for the non-Muslims to killing, for the killing of the non-Muslim, that is misguided missile of the Islam. But after resentment, the many Muslims are being killed by the hand of the non-Muslims in the resentment or in the retaliation. So this is duty to every person to make peace and harmony with all communities, whether they belong to any caste, creed, or the uh, 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 any school of thoughts, whether they are Hindus, whether they are Muslims, the Jews, and the Christians, or are alike, according to the organic evolution or the development of the society. All the human beings are born from the near relatives of the apes. As we are well aware, there are four types of apes are still living on this earth. These are the orangutan, chimpanzee, gibbon, and gorilla. So we are nothing else, but we are the descendants of the nearer relatives to these living apes, which I have mentioned earlier. So this is duty to Islamic countries. Either you have to unfollow the Islamic violence which was written in the Quran, and so many examples and so many crimes which were committed by the Prophet Muhammad and his companions described in Hadith. You have to unfollow Hadith and the Quranic verses which are very, very or highly objectionable on the path of the human values and the humanitarian ground. So, my further congratulations to Donald Trump that he did accordingly after the resentment of the non-Muslims. A long period has been passed since inception of the Islam. Almost 1420 years has been passed. I think so. Not a 20 years, 15 years. 1215 years has been passed so far to running this violent ideology which is known as the Islam. So your Quran is propagating or provoking all the Muslims to kill the non-Muslims. My appeal to all the Muslims, please leave the Islam and don't follow the Quranic verses which is very, very fraudulent in the shape, which are the fictitious verses that a Muslim is equal to 10 non-Muslims. This is a totally a fraudulent ideology which was propagated by so-called Prophet Muhammad. But whenever there is no Allah, how it is possible that the Muslim can win the war in the name of the Allah? Some stupid people are saying that the Israel are killing the innocent Muslims. My dear friend, all the Muslims which are following the Quran and Quranic verses, and even their children which are the students of the Islamic madrasas, are not the innocent people. They are such type of the demon which will be a horrible terrorist after taking the teaching from the Islamic school of thoughts that is known as the madrasa. So you see, when a seed of the poisonous tree, this seed will produce the poisonous trees again. So those Muslim children are taking the education in the Islamic thought process schools, that is in madrasa, certainly they are the terrorists of the future. Certainly they will kill the non-Muslims after reading the Quranic verses or chanting the Quranic verses. Those stupid peoples which are unknown even the ABCD of the Islam and the Quran and the violent ideology Islam need not to any comments on my this channel, otherwise I will delete such comments of such type of the people which are the stupids or the bunches of the jokers. My dear stupid peoples, you must know that Islam is a totally a goonism against the human values and the humanity. This is why, as we are well aware, the crores of the non-Muslims are being killed, had been killed in the head of the Islamic goons. That is, all the Islamic countries which are following the Sharia law are the Islamic goons. Though in practical, United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia and so many countries are not Islamic goons because they cannot follow the Islamic Sharia as written in the Islamic jurisprudence. Because if they will follow the Islamic Sharia or the Islam, certainly the non-Muslim uh, will be angry. The correct word is not angry, will be annoyed, will be annoyed against the non-Muslims and the Islamic countries, and this will be resultant a war between non-Muslims and the Muslims. Certainly, non-Muslim are in strength, in number, in power, and having good values. Certainly, they will win because the fallacy of Allah cannot protect the Muslim at any cost. So my first appeal, all the Islamic countries, please leave the Islam and Islamic values and set up all the madrasas, lock or set up all the madrasas, close all the madrasas throughout the world. And my appeal to coward BJP Indian government that why he should call the Nupur Sharma as a fringe element. Because if stated of the truth is the fringe elements, then the BJP coward leadership are not in favor of the truth. The BJP politician is the bundle of the lies. I want to ask this question, and I hope no one can reply of this, because the stand of the BJP in case of Nupur Sharma was a fringe element. BJP having a fringe element, the people or the leader who are saying that Nupur Sharma is a fringe element, no, you are a fringe element. You are deviating from their path of the truth. In the last, I would like to say, please be united against the Islamic terrorism and be a member of the Kafir International Army to eliminate all the terrorists in your own power. There is no need to any order from anyone. If you will find any Islamic terrorist, you can eliminate at that time. And this is the birthright to defend our lives, because Islam always threatening to the lives of the non-Muslims on the basis of the Quranic jurisprudence. The violent Quran. Quran is the book of the criminology, not the book of the any spiritual book. Quran is the book of the pornography. Quran never be a good book for any time since the inception of the Islam. So my appeal to all the Muslims, please don't read this Quran and don't follow the ideology of Prophet Muhammad, because the ideology of Prophet Muhammad is far away from the path of the human values and the reality. Thank you very much. See you.